What is Warframe? That's a good question. You know, I've been getting into Warframe for about a month now. I just created a new account on PC. Didn't completely get to the in-game content on Xbox, but that's not what this video is about. I wanted to go over what the hell do you do in Warframe? Because this game, let's be honest, is a little convoluted and not straightforward. So, what's some things you should know getting started in this game? Well, your solar map, your navigation, that is really key. Obviously, it's how you do things in the game. And what you should be focusing on when you're in the navigation is, because the quests, they will lead you directly down the path, but sometimes they'll come into situations where you don't have a quest and you don't know what you're doing. Now you start on Earth, and then you go from Earth to Venus, and then to Mercury, and then that allows you to go to Mars, and then Ceres, Jupiter, Europa, blah blah blah. You basically do this like spiral all around the map. And to move forward, what you need to do is every time you click on a planet, you have these junctions, right? And these junctions have a small mini boss that is a challenge that you have to overcome in order to unlock the next planet. And right here, you can see all the requirements to unlock the Mercury junction. Obviously, I've already done it, but defeat Jackal at Fossa, which it's this right here. It's an assassination mission. He's a boss. Fossa is the location on Venus. 10 waves of defense on Tessera, which is over here. Defense, it basically gives you the option to leave after every 5 rounds. So you would have to play Tessera, complete 5 rounds, and then it gives you the option to extract, and you stay and keep fighting. And then rescue a hostage from Linnea. That one's pretty straightforward. You just have to complete this mission right here, because Linnea is the place it's referencing. And then defeat 10 Eximus enemies on Venus. Eximus is just a type of enemy that is like super powered, and they glow red. They have Eximus in their name. And that's pretty much getting around the map. And in my opinion, getting around the map it should be your top priority. Don't go OCD and finish every single node on each planet, even though it would be beneficial. It's just because it's not going to be that beneficial right now. Just because you want to get to all the different planets for this next reason I'm going to tell you. Your alerts menu. Now, the way that Warframe works is they throw up alerts every now and then, and they offer unique rewards that you sometimes can only get from alerts. Such as, for example, I believe you can only get Vigor from an alert. So, in order to get Vigor, you'd have to wait for the random alert to pop up, and it would be Vigor. Now, the next thing I'm going to show you is in Warframe, but it's something I use so I can know when alerts are coming up. Now, there's a app for mobile that you could be looking at, but I always leave this web page open on my second monitor. These are the alerts, and if you just do a Google search that says Warframe alerts, you'll find this website. It's like the first option, and then you come up here and you select which platform you want to look at events for. I'm on PC, so this is a PC one. Now you can see right now, Shotgun Scavenger is a current alert. Shotgun Scavenger is a mod in the game that I believe you can still get as a random drop in as you're just playing, like as a random drop from enemies. But it's a gold mod, which can give you a jump start, especially in the early game, if you just pick this up now. Shotgun Scavenger, what it does, I'll just tell you, it converts whatever ammo you pick up to your shotgun ammo, which can be useful. Okay, so those are alerts. I can't stress enough how important alerts are to move through Warframe. Now, one of the things that I think that's amazing about this game is you don't have to worry about the in-game currency. There's nothing that necessarily forces you to purchase their in-game currency, and just playing the game, you can earn their in-game currency. There's plenty of videos on YouTube about how to earn platinum and all that good stuff, but the lowdown is basically you do relics, you get prime pieces, and then sell prime pieces to people. It's pretty easy. Let's go over the Foundry real quick. The Foundry is something you should always have going. It basically, this is how you outfit yourself with better weapons, better armor, new Warframes, all that good stuff. Now you're probably thinking right now, okay, so that's all fine and good, and I see you're making a Boltor right here, but how did you do that? Well, everything in Warframe is about blueprints. So everything I can build in the Foundry is a blueprint for something, and now there's reusable blueprints for something smaller like a Cipher. Once you get to the point in the story, there's a Cipher blueprint that's reusable. But everything else, like, you'll either get as a random drop while fighting enemies, or you can purchase it yourself if you just want to get it. Like, for example, Oberon systems, that just randomly drops from Xmas enemies. Helios Prime, that dropped from a relic. And I could sell that for platinum if I wanted to. I think it probably wouldn't be a lot, probably 5 platinum or 10 platinum, but you could sell it. Let's head over here to the mods. And in my opinion, the most overbearing or the most daunting thing that comes up when you first start Overwatch, Warframe, is what the heck are mods? What mods are what make you powerful? Your character, your Warframe, it has a level, right? It goes from 0 to 30. 30 is the max, and there's baseline stats that get upgraded on the Warframe as you level up. But the thing that actually makes you powerful are mods, such as Streamline, plus 6% ability efficiency. This one's not that good because it's damaged, but it's still nice for early game. And basically, here you can upgrade your mods. On the bottom of every single mod, you can see it has a certain amount of stars at the bottom. Like on here, you can see Swift Death. On the very bottom of the card, it has 5 stars. They're all empty. That's how many upgrade nodes or upgrade points this mod has. With each upgrade, it gets more expensive. Vitality, I've already upgraded twice. To upgrade, you just click on one, and then these stuff will pop up. Click Fusion, and then right here, you can click this plus arrow to give it more nodes. Once you upgrade it, you can't unupgrade it, obviously, but you can just keep upgrading it. The more nodes it has, the more expensive it gets as you level it up. So, right now, if I wanted to go to rank 3, it would cost me 40 endo, which I don't have, and a little under 2,000 credits. And as I go up, you can see that number just keeps getting higher and higher to the point where at the very last, if I wanted to upgrade all the way right now, it would be 10,000 endo and 500,000 credits. It's insane. But it gives you a really nice bonus of plus 440% health, which is awesome. Good, gives you a lot of survivability. Now there's this other button right here that's Aeton Treasures. Probably said that wrong. Sorry if I did. What the purpose of this is, while you're exploring the game, you want to actually explore the environment and look for Aeton Treasures. You can also complete once a week. The Grand Bazaar gives you a quest to get an Aeton treasure. And the reason why these are important is because they are sold for endo. Or you can use them to decorate your ship. It's really up to you. But I always sell them for endo because I'm poor. So when you get a sculpture, you can put these stars into it and to increase the value of the sculpture. I wish I had a sculpture right now to show you. But basically, you would see a sculpture here, you'd click on it, and then it would go into a view, and you would click on each node for it, and it would give you the option, the prompt, to put one of these stars in that slot. And I believe, unless the higher end ones take more stars, I think they only take 3. Usually 2 Scions and one of the other ones, the Ember. So that's upgrading mods, and for ease of access, when you start getting a lot of mods, you can filter it out to individual pieces. If you're running low on endo, like I am, you can always check out the duplicates page, which you can just, select them and then dissolve them into endo. You can see that I have 1 selected and it will dissolve for 5. It doesn't cost anything to do this, you just get endo. And as you start flying through the game later on, you'll start getting a lot of mods, and that'll be useful. Oh, look at this. That's glitched, or it looks glitched. This is where your incubator goes for your pets. That's later. I don't have it yet because I haven't gotten to that point in the game. Now, here's your arsenal. This is where you do everything for your character. To equip mods, you click the upgrade. Click this upgrade right here, and then it'll take you to this screen. Now let's go over this real quick. These two top spots, I'm just going to go to a different config. So if you just started a new Warframe and you're looking at this, you would have something that resembles this on your Warframe. This right here, this is a aura mod slot. Only these mods can go there. And I have found aura mods just randomly from killing enemies, but they weren't the best. And the best one, the one that I like the most because I love using powers on characters, is I love Energy Siphon. It gives you a slow trickle of energy over time, which is awesome. So basically your energy is always recharging. But only aura mods can go here. Alright. And if you see right here, there's a little dash. That's a polarity of that spot. So you could, that's a type of mod called Naramon. And basically if you put the correct polarity in that spot, it will cut the cost, the drain cost of that mod in half. So if it cost 8, it would cost 4. I'll just show you. So this flow mod costs 4, right? And you can see right here I have my capacities. I have 36 drain out of 36 left. Now if we take the 4 cost mod, we throw it in there, it lowers its cost to 2. So it's always going to cut it in half. Now if you have a mod that, say this costs 5 and I put it there, it would still cost 3 because it rounds up. It rounds up to whatever that is. And yeah. So that's upgrading mods. Couple more things on the screen is if you're just starting the game, something that really helped me to not get over encumbered by the mod system is you can click actions, which is clicking the right stick on Xbox, or I'm sure it's the same thing on PS4. And you can click this auto install. This was extremely helpful because I didn't have to look, read, or think about what I was putting in. I was just hoping that the game was putting the correct mods in. And especially when you first start out and you don't have any mods, there's nothing really to think about. You know, you just put in whatever. But the game doesn't always do this in the smartest way, such as, for example, there's a Warframe called Nidus. He doesn't have any shields. If you auto install on Nidus, it will 100% of the time put a shield mod on Nidus, which does 0. It does nothing because Nidus doesn't have shields. So watch out for that. You just, after you do the auto install, you might want to start looking over it if you have a character like with those certain requirements. This upgraded, which is super useful if you find a Warframe that you really, really, really like, or you just have an Orokin reactor and you want to throw it on here, which this is craftable. You will get blueprints. I can't say that I've ever gotten a blueprint randomly dropped from an enemy, but I know that this will pop up in alerts, so you can get an Orokin reactor from an alert, and then you can craft it, and it takes 24 or 12 hours to craft. I don't remember off the top of my head. And you can craft it, and once you install it, it doubles your mod capacity, so which is extremely useful. Also, if you purchase a Warframe with Platinum, this will automatically be installed. I bought Octavia because I don't want a farmer, and she's a great frame. So she came automatically equipped with the Orokin reactor, which was awesome. Next up is polarization. Polarization is really, really useful later. I didn't like get too crazy with this or like put too much weight on it, because if I found a Warframe that I like and I got to 30, I just polarized it, so I leveled up again. And what this does is when it makes one of the spots that doesn't have like it makes one of the spots, like this one doesn't have any like this has a dash and this doesn't, that's polarization. So basically, when you polarize it, you could tell this one, like, okay, I want this one to be, whatever this, Mandaray. And like, I call it a check mark. I just want it to be the check mark, and you're gonna be able to put a mod there for half the cost of it's a check mark, which is awesome. So like, if you find a mod that 100% you're gonna be using every single time you use that character, such as maybe you always want to throw a redirection on. When you get this all the way maxed out, I think it costs 14. That's gonna cut it down to 7. You're gonna be getting 440% shields for 7 drain, which is awesome. Swap polarity, I've never done that, but I can only assume that it just lets you switch the polarity of a space to another one, which I guess that's an organization thing. So like, I could switch this one to here. I don't know if it costs anything. Never done it. But that's a mod screen. It's not too bad. It's very overwhelming when you first look at it, but it's not too bad. Once again, these 2 slots up here, I didn't go over this one. Let me just say something. Like I said, this one, only aura mods can go here. It won't let you put anything else there. Only aura mods. And this one, it only takes, what are these? Exilis? It only takes those. So that would be able to go there, right? But nothing else can. So, and that isn't default unlocked. If you want to unlock that, I think I don't think I've ever gotten the part for it to actually unlock it normally, but I always spend the 20 platinum just to unlock it if it's a Warframe I like. But that's modding your character, and then, modding everything else goes the same way, Your Warframe has Warframe specific mods, and then each type of weapon has their specific mods. And, there's polarity. It all works the same way. You can auto install on here as well. Let's see what auto install does. I'm gonna go to config B and just see what it does. Put on Flechette. That's not bad, except, I don't think I would really care about status duration when the only thing that would get applied would be probably bleeding. Seeking Fury is pretty good, but yeah. Oh, I gotta make sure I don't leave that on. I don't want that. Let's go back to A. But yeah, everything else works the same. Companion, you'll get this just early on in the story, so you don't need to buy one. I really enjoy the carrier, so I purchased it using platinum because I'm a scrub. Yeah. Here's something to go over. Really important you'll sometimes run into Cephalon fragments while you're playing levels, and you're like, okay, I see that thing. People on my team marked it, but what do I do with that, right? And that comes in here. That comes in play here. You have to equip a codex scanner and actually purchase them and put them into your gear loadout before you go into a mission. And then when you're in the mission, you hit down on the D-pad and then you select this, aim at it, scan it, boom, you scanned it. This is important because I know for a fact that one of the planet junctions requires you to scan Cephalon fragments. It might be Mars. I think it's Mars. So you definitely want to get used to codex scanning things early on, since you can start with them as soon as you get the market. Another really important one to have in addition to codex scanners is Ciphers. You want to make sure you have Ciphers because it can save you from failing a mission, especially later on in the game when the hacking starts getting, ridiculous. You definitely want to start having Ciphers. I didn't go over it, but yes, the mod upgrade system works the same as a carrier and its weapon. Anyway. Oh, one more thing. Completely forgot. Modes. So, I didn't know this for a long time. Right now it only says Cooperative and Conclave, but you can switch modes. So, there's an Archwing that you get later on in the game. You get it as part of a quest. But you can upgrade the Archwing just like you can upgrade a Warframe. And you do that by hitting the select mode, which I think is clicking the left stick on Xbox One, and I'm assuming it's the same thing on PS4. And then I only have Cooperative and Conclave right now because I don't have an Archwing, but once you get one, it will be here. And you just select it and it'll let you modify it. And let's just go into the back of our ship here. This is the infected room. Nobody can go in here except Nidus and I don't think it really has a purpose as of yet. But this room is where you'll be upgrading your focus or your school discipline once you get to that point in the story. It's a late game. It's probably about getting to Pluto, but that's where you do it. This is where you can look at all your relics that you have and find out what drop chance you have from every relic, and use void traces to upgrade the relics to get a higher chance. So that's going over relics real quick, is you upgrade relics with void traces to give them a higher chance to drop the rarer parts that it could drop. So like the other prime pieces it could drop that are like have a very small chance to drop. Yeah. Going up to the front of the ship, this is the market. This is going to show how much of a noob I am, but I didn't know what the heck to do here for the longest time. If you're on Xbox One, you hit Y, and it'll pull up this menu. And then you can scroll to the thing you want. It makes me a noob, because I didn't know that for the longest time. I thought the market was useless. If you're on computer, you just click it. And then you can, say for example, you can't buy Warframes directly here, but you can browse primary weapons, secondary weapons, and you can look at them all, and they're pretty, and they're mastery locked, because I don't have that stuff. But, and say for example, it's not mastery locked, and you want that weapon, but you don't want to pay the in-game currency for it. 150 plat? Nah, man, I'm good. But if you wanted to, once you click on it, you will see up here there's basically 3 tabs. Now, if you stay on this tab, you have the option to purchase it. I don't think this is here on Xbox One, but you have the option to purchase it for 150 platinum. Awesome. If you do that, it's going to give you the gun immediately. It's going to come with a reactor installed, so it has to double the mod slots starting out, which is good. And it comes, I believe, maybe with a polarity. I don't know. But if you don't want to do that and you want to do the actual free-to-play aspect, then you can click this tab if you're on computer, and then right bumper if you're on Xbox One, and then probably R1 if you're on PS4. And it'll take you to this screen. It shows you the price here, 15,000 credits, and you purchase the blueprint. And that is how you get new weapons. Of course, you can only purchase things that you have unlocked. So I couldn't get this one because it's Mastery Lock 10. Now let's go over getting a new Warframe, because it's not the most obvious thing in the world. To get a new Warframe, you have to collect, in most cases, 3 pieces. The systems, the chassis. I don't have a chassis here, but you'd have to collect the systems, the chassis, and the neuroptics. And it looks like a helmet. And the chassis looks like a chest that's just filled out more. Each one of those pieces you have to build. They take different components. Like you can see, this one takes plastids and I have 0. Each takes different components, and you need all 3 to create the overall frame. Each component takes 12 hours, and then when you go to craft the frame, it takes 3 days. Holy cow, 3 days. You might as well like start gathering Warframes and just start making them. Because it takes forever to build a Warframe. So after you get the drop for each of the parts, right? So you have the neuroptics, the chassis, and the systems. Once you get all 3 of those pieces and you build them, you're like, oh, okay, but where's the frame? Now you have to buy the overall blueprint. And the way you do that is you have to come over here into the arsenal, and then you go to the top for Warframe, and you click equip. It's going to take you to this screen. You can purchase other Warframes for platinum, which will give it to you immediately, along with it having an Orokin reactor installed, and it has a polarity on one of its slots, which is, it's good. It's worth the money, but you don't have to do that. You could definitely free to play it. I believe that every single frame here is attainable in game. Don't get Limbo, because there's a quest that gives them to you. I think the hardest ones to get are Nidus and Octavia. Nidus, Octavia, Equinox. Those are really hard to get. Yeah. But in order to get the overall blueprint, you would find the respective character. Like say we're trying to make Oberon. So here he is. I hit A to purchase. And then you can see right here, 325. I don't want to use platinum. I hit right bumper on Xbox One or on PC, click. And then you can see here, okay, the blueprint costs 30,000, and this is a crafting requirements. You don't have to have these when purchasing the blueprint. It's just telling you you need to have these things in order to build it. So you could purchase the blueprint and it'll say, you sure, yes. And I'm not going to buy it because I don't have the pieces for it. But that's how you do it. And then after you had the overall blueprint, you would see it in your Foundry at that point. And the easiest way to do that is just click the Warframe, and it would be listed here. And then if you had all the pieces, you would just build it. Boom, boom, boom. And then you got yourself a new Warframe in 3 days. Marvelous. Marvelous. Next thing I want to go over is this, which I can't show you directly because I'm not Mastery Rank 3. Will be by the end of the day, but whatever. This is your Syndicate, which is really good because it gives you mods that you can only get here, or trade chat. You can also get them trade chat, which is down here. You just have to open chat and then click the trading tab. It's where everybody's trading. You know, this guy wanting to sell Syndo Prime set, the full set, and then Mag Prime Systems and Reaper Prime Blade. You know. Want to sell. That's what WTS stands for, want to sell, and then WTB is want to buy. I have had really good luck just popping into chat and saying WTB and then selecting a mod. So, say for example, Nyx. Nyx is the mind control character. I wanted to get Mind Freak, which is a mod that only is for Nyx, which makes the people she mind controls those targets do more damage, starting at 200% more damage and going up to 500% more damage. So I clicked in the chat, WTB, Mind Freak, and within 30 seconds, I had 3 people send me a direct message offering to sell it to me. And the economy is completely driven by the game, so if you ever want to buy anything or you ever want to sell anything, go on the internet and do a little research, find out what it's going for currently on the market, and then go off of that. Don't get ripped off. Just because you're new doesn't mean you gotta get ripped off. It's just not fair. I've never done Conclave, never cared to, not a PvP kind of guy. That's where you do it. Can't tell you any more about it because I've never done it. Now you might be wondering, okay, so you told me how to make a Warframe. Where the hell do I get the components for it? That's easy to find out depending on what you need. So say for example, we were looking earlier, I needed plastids. Where the hell do you get plastids? Every planet drops different materials. The way you tell, you click on a planet to get in this view, and then you click the right stick on Xbox, or probably PS4 as well. But on computer, it's just this little thing over here. You just hover over it, and it shows you that on Mars, it drops Morphix, Salvage, Gallium, and Field Run samples. The higher up on this list, the rarer it is. So, if I wanted plastids, definitely don't go to Mars. I know for a fact they're on Phobos, though. You can see right there, they're a fairly high chance to drop on Phobos. As for more complex components, such as the... what's it called? Let's look here. Components. Now obviously you can buy everything, all components in-game. You can buy it for real currency, which if you want to do that, fine. But I don't. Oh, this is it. Exilus adapter. That's the thing that actually unlocks the slot. But the reason why I come here is because there's blueprints here. Such as... I think you can get a blueprint for neural sensors. Yeah, you can get a blueprint for neural sensors, but it still costs platinum. So you'd be able to, like if you bought this, you'd be able to reuse this blueprint. Each time you make a neural sensor, it takes an hour. But you get to use this forever. And basically... well, it's it takes a lot of alloy plates. You'd have to be swimming in alloy plates and nanospores in order for this to be viable. But I had a shitload on Xbox One. so that's not that big of a catch. But yeah, you can go in here if you're like, man, I'm just not getting enough neural sensors, because neural sensors are really important for Warframe parts. It's like, man, I'm not getting any neural sensors. You can just come in here and, you know, drop 100 on the blueprint. You could just go farm relics, get a bunch of prime pieces, get in the trade chat, sell some prime pieces to people, and then you know, get the blueprint for it. Neurodes have the blueprint as well, you know, because these are not common drops. I played on Xbox One for a while. I had a lot of Warframes, and I kept running out of both of these. Same with this, Oracle cells. I kept running out of Oracle cells as well. Yeah. So that's the market and getting blueprints. Also, like I was talking about earlier, the Cipher. I think that's on here. Where is it? Is it gear? Yeah, here it is. Holy cow. Ciphers are amazing. They make it so when you're hacking, it instantly hacks it. No fucking with it, just instantly gets hacked. You start out with this one, you could just buy it. It's 500 credits. It's cheap. Ciphers are pretty easy to make. They don't take, you know, resources that are used that often. But when you have the money, definitely get this. I always try to make sure that I had 30 ciphers going into a mission, especially the spy missions, because, you know, there's multiple doors you have to hack, and if you misstep and get spotted by somebody, it puts the data on a purge timer, and it's just meh. Don't want to do it. So definitely, as soon as you got the 250 grand, get this for sure. Which brings me to another thing is boosters. Everything drops at a reasonable rate, I think, in Warframe, but for starting out, I like to start with boosters. I get a 3-day resource booster and a 3-day credit booster, and I just, while this resource booster is active, I search everything and just get as much resources as possible, because resources, like, once you get past the point, the beginning part of the game of grinding for resources, you never want to do it again. I never do anyway. You never stop doing it, but I want to do it less. Like, I don't want to be just farming. It's not fun for me. So boosters are very useful. I think that's it. Customizing your ship, pretty cool. It's not obvious. If you go to hit start and go to equipment or escape on computer, if you go to landing craft, customize. This is where you can customize, you know, your landing craft, the thing you fly in. Let's go with, yeah, sure, fine. You can do that for that, and then you can customize your interior. You know, I always just do random colors because I am not artistic. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Also, I have to explain the mastery system. So the mastery system, this number next to your name when you open this menu, that's your mastery. Weapons are mastery locked. If you browse the store at all, you would see that pretty much everything is locked when you just start the game. It's terrible. But when the first few levels for mastery is pretty easy to get through. It's pretty easy. You can pretty much get to one. You can be doing one each day as long as you're playing a reasonable amount. But this blue bar, once it fills up all the way, it'll be flashing when you open the screen, and right here above navigation it will say take mastery test. And each mastery test is a little bit different. And yeah, once you pass it, you'll rank up and you'll start the grind to the next level. Only not maxed up things will count towards your mastery level. Only not leveled up things. So everything has a max level of 30. So, you know, the Warframe, your primary, your secondary, your carrier, all that stuff has a max level of 30. And once it reaches level 30, it's not contributing to this at all anymore. So that means you need to be using as many different guns as possible, or you need to be polarizing your weapons in your Warframe to keep resetting their level back to 0, and just make sure you keep getting experience to keep leveling up your mastery rank. It's very, very important so that you can, get the cooler weapons, because you don't get any cool weapons when you're starting the game out. You don't. Look at all this shit that's locked. All of it. You think the Zooge is cool? No. The Attica? No, not cool. The Boar's alright. The Boltor's good. Never used the Burstin. I've heard the Cernos is good. I guess in Master Rank 3 you have a couple decent choices. And once again, if you wanted it, I don't think I can get the Cernos because I think it's... Oh, no, you can. Okay. I thought the Cernos was a clan dojo weapon, but no. Yeah, it's like, say you want to get the Cernos, so you just purchase the blueprint. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That was an introduction to Warframe, because holy crap, the YouTube videos for Warframe getting started are atrocious, useless, and outdated. We're talking years old here. If you like this video, let me know. I'll make some more Warframe videos about, other things to get started in, because this shit, it has depth, and, the game does not teach you how to do it. And if you're a solo player like me, it's real hard to find the information because YouTube videos are so outdated. Or the YouTube video just doesn't have any, like, dude talking. I don't want to read your text. I don't want to read that shit. Don't want to read it. Anyway, thanks guys. I'll catch you next time. Peace.